Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for watching today. And today is a huge day as it is the return of The Mandalorian Season 3. This has been one of the best shows on TV over the past few years. Absolutely amazing. We've loved everything about it. It's just really invigorated a lot of people's love for Star Wars and brought in a lot of new people into Star Wars who kind of fell off or maybe weren't wanting to get into it because of all of the drama that happened during the sequels within the fandom. But now with him back, and we have great shows like Andor, and I enjoy Book of Boba Fett, and we have Ahsoka coming, and Skeleton Crew, and so many amazing shows. And now Mandalorian Season 3 is set up to be one of the biggest and most important pieces of Star Wars media almost ever, and I think it could be one of the best. So just last night at midnight Pacific time, so 3 a.m. Eastern time, Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 1 dropped on Disney+. So we got up early this morning and watched it, and I absolutely loved it. Great action, great story. Of course, the relationship, not only with Mando and Grogu, but also seeing Greef Karga back, being able to see Bo-Katan as well, and setting up really what this season is all going to be about. I think we're in for a hell of a ride. And last night they also did have a premiere in Los Angeles, and some media was invited out to it. They did show the first 2 episodes, and apparently at the end of the second episode, there is a pretty big thing that happens. Could be a cameo or something like that, so we will wait to see what happens at the end of episode 2, because so far, the public just got episode 1, so we'll have to wait another week to see what happens there. But I thought to celebrate the return of The Mandalorian, I would actually do a video showing off all of the Mandalorian Funko Pops that I have in my collection. Definitely some great ones that I like. Now, The Mandalorian is so popular that Funko has made so many different pops. So over the past 3 years, I may have gotten Mandalorian Pops, but I have moved on from actually a good amount of them, especially a lot of them that came out during Season 1, because they put out other figures later that were like similar, or maybe just had a different variant of it that I wanted to pick up instead. So for those of you who might have been with the channel quite a while, maybe seen some of the other older Mandalorian Pops, you might ask why some other figures are not in the video today, and that would be because I might have sold it or traded in for something else, because I didn't want like 6 different versions of the Mandalorian if they're all kind of the same. Especially, you know, all the different Grogu / the Child Pops. There's way too many of them. I have 2 today, technically, but there was like, what, I want to say 10 or 12 that have been released. A ton of them, probably more than that. So of course I'm not going to go crazy and buy every single Grogu. So starting off today's video, actually one of the first Mandalorian Pops that I was able to get was actually this pop moment of Mando and the child walking. It's definitely a super cool look right here. I really do love this thing, especially with a lot of the detail and like the carrying case or whatever, the bassinet I think it's called, that Grogu is in right there. Of course, again, back then he was the child, but they both look fantastic. I absolutely love that weapon he has. He has the blaster in his holster, and even just the detail of having a little bit of dirt on his helmet as well. And I think the helmet is just super cool. And then you have baby Grogu, and he's reaching out a little bit as well. And this is just a great pop on an awesome stand. And this is actually one I do keep out of box. I have it on my table. I like to keep that one out of the box because I think that one's definitely really cool. And I do have one other one that I do keep out of the box. And this is the first child pop I actually picked up. This is, of course, the child from the first season of The Mandalorian. Definitely a really cute figure. I like just having it on my desk because I like to just bobble his head every now and again. Definitely a cute one. So you have the child in his jacket reaching out a little bit, using a little bit of the Force. I like how his ears go out very far, but unfortunately, because of that, you do have him in the sideways box instead of the regular up and down 4-inch box. So it is a little bit harder to display on the shelf, which is one of the reasons why I took it out of the box, but he is absolutely adorable. Now moving on to some other Mando Pops, we have this one right here, which is the Funko Shop exclusive Mandalorian with Beskar Spear from Season 2 of The Mandalorian. This one is also a super cool one as well. I love how the spear looks, although it is a little bit bent, but the look that he has with his new Beskar armor as well, and the spear is definitely pretty sick. And he even has some detail with the jetpack on in the back, which always is super cool in any Star Wars movie or show. And this next one, I would say actually might be my favorite out of all the ones we're going to show off today. This one is super sick. This is the Box Warehouse Amazon exclusive metallic glow-in-the-dark Mandalorian with dark saber. Now, I said metallic. It's actually more of like a chrome, I would say, but definitely a super sick figure. The fact that they actually made all of those variants to it, all those features, but also just the look of it is absolutely sick, especially with him holding the dark saber. So Mando kind of stepping forward, holding the dark saber out in front of him. And then the Beskar armor looks amazing with that chrome look to it on the helmet, along with on the armor on his chest and his wrists and his shoulders. Even his jetpack is chromed up. And we'll give you a look at the glow in the dark as well. It is just the dark saber that glows. It is very light, but I still really like the look of this. And the dark saber is just super cool. And speaking of the dark saber, another character that we have that has carried the dark saber is Moff Gideon, played by Giancarlo Esposito, and this is actually one of the pops from Season 1. So I believe it was this one, and yeah, actually right here on the back. So some of the pops that we got originally, actually before the show even came out, we got Cara Dune, IG-11, and The Mandalorian. I have actually moved all of those for various different reasons, mostly because, you know, with the Mando one, there was a bunch of different Mando pops, and I just wanted to pick and choose which ones I like the most. But that original wave had so many different Mandalorian pops, but definitely some cool ones. And Moff Gideon was one that I really loved, one of my favorite characters from the show. So I definitely wanted to keep this one. Now, there is a glow-in-the-dark version that was exclusive to Target. I never got it for some reason because I already had this one, and I didn't want to buy the t-shirt that came with it, so I kind of just held off on it for forever until I forgot about it. But still, super cool that we got this one. I would love to get this one signed by Giancarlo Esposito sometime. I know he's going to MegaCon, I believe, and he goes to a lot of different conventions, so I'm sure I'm going to be able to meet him one day and get this signed. But a look at the figure, he looks absolutely amazing, and he really does look like Giancarlo Esposito, especially with the mustache and the hair slicked back. That looks really cool. His armor looks amazing, and then he's holding that dark saber, which looks pretty hefty in this pop. I love the detail, the way it kind of looks like the cracked lines in it in the dark saber. Now, going from characters who had the dark saber to one that is going after the dark saber, we have Bo-Katan Kryze, and this is actually the Chase Bo-Katan that we found in Mandalorian Season 2, and she actually popped up in the first episode of Mandalorian Season 3. And we absolutely love Bo-Katan, especially from the Clone Wars. She is a great character there, and the fact that they were able to take her and bring her over to the Mandalorian, I thought was absolutely brilliant, and it made perfect sense. And now with Season 3, I think she's going to play a really, really huge part. And this is another one of my favorite pops as well, especially the chase of her being unmasked. And so we have her red hair right behind her hairband. She has the two blasters in her hand. She's taking out some fools. And I do really like the armor on her as well. And I do have another chase, also came out from Mandalorian Season 2. This one is Cobb Vanth. And Cobb Vanth, played by Timothy Olyphant, was a great addition to Mandalorian Season 2 in the first episode. And then, of course, we got to see him pop up once again in the Book of Boba Fett. And I'm sure we'll see him again maybe in this season of Mandalorian. That would be really cool. But I really love this one, this chase, over the comic, especially because we actually get to see his face. Because it's just something about seeing Timothy Olyphant's face with his beard and hair and everything. It's just really regal and distinguished. So I love how they made this version of the pop. And of course he is wearing Boba Fett's armor, at least the chest piece. And he does have a blaster in his hand they just took out of the holster to defend his town. This is a pretty cool figure. and I'm surprised that it's not worth more than it is, somewhere around $20. Now, one of my most expensive Star Wars figures in the collection was one that I picked up at Star Wars Celebration in 2022, which was a blast, and I was able to get this from the Star Wars Celebration store. This is the Diamond Edition 5,000 piece Grogu. This one's definitely a cool one as well. The diamond isn't the best, I would say, but still, it's awesome that we were able to get it from Star Wars Celebration. I love the Star Wars Celebration logo on the back along with the sticker on the front. So more of the memories is what makes this figure one of my favorites. And it's just, of course, Grogu, he is adorable. So as you can see, they actually made the entire thing diamond from his coat and up to his head as well. It's pretty much the exact same mold as the original Child Pop. It's just they just changed the name on it and threw a bunch of glitter on him. So I wish they maybe did a little bit of a different pose or something like that. But it's still really fun again because we actually went to the convention. And just like Bo-Katan, a character that jumped from animation over to live action that we saw in Mandalorian Season 2 was Ahsoka Tano. And definitely one of our favorite Star Wars characters. And here is the common Ahsoka Tano, played by Rosario Dawson. And of course, she's getting her own show that's going to be coming out later this year that we're super excited about. I really like the Mandalorian figures as well, and seeing her in Mandalorian Season 2 was a huge surprise. And I really like this pop, especially with her two white lightsabers that she has, one behind her, one in the front, carries it just like she does in the Clone Wars. The details on her face with her paint along with the tails on her head are definitely really cool, and I do like that dynamic stance. And then we did hit another Ahsoka Tano figure as well, which is the Amazon exclusive Ahsoka with her hood on. So another really cool one is here as well. She is holding the lightsabers, those white lightsabers, but she's holding it in front of her, crossing over as an X, which is definitely a cool look. She has a cape on along with the hood over her head as well, as she showed up in The Mandalorian. And then our last two figures that we have for our Mandalorian set are actually two of the newest figures that dropped for The Mandalorian, as these came out with the Mandalorian Black Friday Funko Mystery Box from GameStop. And so right here, we have the Remnant Stormtrooper and Paz Vizsla. And I think these ones are definitely super cool looking pops right here, especially this Paz Vizsla. And with the Remnant Stormtrooper, he is all sandy. You normally don't see a Stormtrooper that is not that completely white look, and they definitely gave him a little bit more of a cream color to it. Really has that stained armor from all of the sand. And he is holding the blaster in his hand as well. Definitely a cool looking Stormtrooper. And then Paz Vizsla, definitely an amazing one as well. A pretty big Mandalorian, if you guys know, is played by Jon Favreau. And we did see this character in the first episode of Mandalorian Season 3. Definitely an awesome pose that he has. It looks like he's in a fighting stance. He does have a weapon with him in the front. It looks like he even has like a punch he's about to throw. And I really do like the colors of his armor, especially with his helmet with the different shades of blue. Well, there we have it, guys. There's our look at all of the Mandalorian Funko Pops I have in my collection right now. Like I said, I did have more before where I had the Cara Dune Pop. I had an IG-11 Pop. I had some other Mando Pops, but I ended up switching some in and out of the collection as I wanted to try to cut down the amount of pops that I had for one certain character. And I think I have some pretty good ones to go right now. But this is not all. I think we're going to be adding more very soon, as I'm sure we're going to get even more for Mandalorian Season 3. We have already gotten a look at one more Mandalorian pop. Just went on sale yesterday on eBay, and I think it has already started to hit Funko Hollywood as well. It is Mando on the speeder with Grogu. Definitely a great pop. It is a Funko Shop exclusive. I do believe it might have sold out on eBay, but I'm sure it will go back up on Funko.com. So if you do want to get that pop into your collection, just keep an eye on the website for a potential restock. But guys, now I want to hear from you. What do you think about all the pops we have in our collection for The Mandalorian? Do you guys have any Mandalorian pops in your collection? What are some of your favorites that you have? And have you checked out Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 1 yet? What is your thoughts on the new episode? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And of course, if you guys have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, leave a like in this video as well if you enjoyed it. And of course, you can always hit that bell to be notified whenever we have new videos drop. But thank you guys so much for watching today. And as always, we'll see you again. real soon.